Hello everyone, today I'll show you the updates to the downhill bike marketplace item. I realized that I didn't do a video for the past versions as well, so I'll show what are the differences for every version of the updates. So the current most recent update is the 1.3 version. The added functionality to the 1.3 version is this smooth camera change. If you hit the C key, the camera will move gradually to the first person position, and if you click the C key, it will move back to the third person view. It will not just change the camera, but it will gradually animate between the two cameras. The next added feature is if you fall from the bike, the character will recover. The bike will be spawned at the place that it's left after the falling, and you can go back up to the bike. You can then drive again, and you can fall again, and then the character again will recover, and you can go find the bike and hop as well from the other side. There are different animations for the left and the right side, as well as if you fall on the front and on the back, you will recover with a different animation. And the last update to the 1.3 version, let me change the camera to show you a little bit of the first person view. Let me go up the hill so I can show you the last update. It will calculate the gaps in front of you. So if you're driving with a high enough speed and ahead of you there's a gap in the terrain, you will jump off from the inertia that the bike has. Let me go back a bit so I can. Okay. Now, if I get to a high enough speed here, you'll see that every time there's a gap in the road ahead, the bike will jump just from the inertia without hitting the jump key. Okay, so these are the features for the 1.3 version. You can control this inertia with a variable. You can disable it if you want, and as well, when you're getting next to the edge, if you hit the brake for just a little bit, it will not jump. Okay, so for the features added for the 1.2 version, they are of course included in the 1.3 version as well. The first one is if you just hit the W key, but not enough that you do a pedal stroke and start moving. So if you're stopped and just hit the W key, you will go into this track stand animation, balancing the bike in one place. You can get to this animation as well if you start to climb a hill without turning the pedals. If you get to the slow enough speed, the bike will automatically get into this track stand animation. With the brake pedal, you can step on the ground, and with the W, you can get pedaling and moving again. The next change with the 1.2 version is that your character shifts the weight back when you're going downhill. Let me go here at the end. You'll see here when you go down, the biker shift weights to the back, and when you go up, he shifts the weight to the front. Let me go now the other way. Okay, now you see the weight is to the back. And the last, actually not the last, but one other change from the 1.2 version is that if you have just stopped somewhere on a downhill, like for example, I'm stopped here. In the previous version, if you release the brake, the bike automatically gains speed, and now you're staying in place until you start to accelerate, and then you only then get the inertia from the downhill. But if you're stopped, you're no longer required to hold the brake for the entire time that you want to stay on one place. You can just step on the ground and you will not get started. The other change in 1.2 version is that if you are hitting the brake on high enough speed, your character will start to move his weight to the back, because this is the way you're supposed to stop on the downhill, especially to not get thrown over the bars. There are a couple other animations added and stuff like this, but they're not so major, so I will not demonstrate them. Let's go to the 1.1 version. The 1.1 version are just improvements to the basic functionality. So actually I will just show the basic functionality from the item. So you can stop, you can reverse your bike, you can steer left and right while reversing, you can pedal ahead. If you're moving on a downward slope, the bike will automatically gain speed. If you're moving on an uphill, the bike will automatically slow down until you start pedaling. You can jump with the space bar, hold it to pre-load as long as you want, and when you release, you are performing an ollie. If you are moving with a high enough speed and you jump and you rotate in there and land in another direction from the one that you jumped, you will crash. If you try to perform a trick and you don't have enough time and land before the trick is ended, you will end up crashing again. Let me show you. I'm now driving with a small speed, so I'll not have a time to do this backflip, so I crashed again. I'm recovering. I need to go to the bike again. Okay. So if you are driving with a high enough speed and you successfully perform the trick, you will just land and continue riding. If you are driving with a slow speed, you can land in any direction and continue from there. But if the speed is high enough, you will crash if you land not in the same direction that you jumped from. So if I rotate now, I will crash. You can see the dynamic suspension if I look from the side. The front and the back suspensions are working with the terrain. If you go to the first person view, you will see the front suspension working. So these are all the functionalities. I hope that you like what I've developed. If you have any questions or comments, you can write in the comments. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.